Right then, Mike. Spiderwire. First thing I've noticed, repackaged.
Yeah, it's really good packaging. You know, it's meant to catch the eye.
Yeah,
and it does. It's cracking. You know, I mean, you can't miss the spider, can you?
No, absolutely.
I mean, Code Red's been around for a while, but this is a slightly new formula. I've used a lot of Code Red in the past for quite a lot of varied fishing, particularly for lure fishing, etc., for plug fishing, but also for downtide fishing.
It's got a nice round profile, hasn't it?
It's got a really nice round profile. You know, it comes off the reel very smoothly. One thing that, you know, it's worth mentioning about braid, which you don't see written very often or spoke about very often, is that, you know, we actually on the packaging you've got a little tag and you can feel the braid itself, and it's quite supple and smooth. But what's really important is, you know, what's it feel like after a couple of days fishing, and it actually settles in and beds in. And what I like about that is it's quite a supple line, but more importantly it knots very well. And that to me is one of the key
important.
things.
That is important. I mean, I don't know what the recommended retail price is on something like Code Red. How much is that? Do you know?
You're looking about £35.
I mean, that's pretty good as braid goes. I mean, this stuff's been around for a while.
Yeah, that's
Easy braid. I've used that quite a few times, and the good thing about this is it's like 20 quid a spool for 300 yards. So anyone that's thinking of making the change from mono to braid, that's a real good starting point, because it's a good quality product.
And it's still got virtually all the virtues of a more expensive braid, you know, but it is more economical. And you're right. You know, people just starting out who are not too sure, you know, it's not a massive price to pay out, but they can get used to braid and decide whether it is for them, which in most cases, of course, it is, you know, because you can use less lead weight, it's got better bite detection, cuts through the tide.
There's still a lot of people out there that are scared of using braid. I see it a lot on Facebook, social media. You know, quite a few different various groups on there, even on the BFM site. You know, there's people asking questions: should I be using braid? Should I be using mono? I mean, myself, I very, very rarely use mono now as a main line.
For boat fishing, I very rarely use mono.
You know, pretty much the only thing I will use it for is uptiding every now and then. But even then, a lot of the time, I just fish with braid and stick a longer leader on.
I think one of the things that's also worth mentioning, Dave, is that, you know, this is a general statement. I'm not saying it's absolute fact, but as a general statement, quite a lot of braids actually test out higher than they're given on the packaging, and people are worried because they're so thin. Are they really that strong? But the fact is, they're even more stronger than they look.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got your Code Red, you've got Easy Braid. You know, both really good braids. What's this one you've got here? Invisi Braid.
This is Invisi Braid, yeah. It's obviously a white semi-clear braid, if you like, and it's less visible in water. And it's got its uses, particularly when you're lure fishing in very, very clear water, etc. I personally would still use a fluorocarbon leader. I always do. I know you would.
Yeah, I do.
But you know, if you want to make sure that fish can't see things too easily, that's the one to go for.
Going back to Facebook again, there was a big debate on one of the lure angling groups on there the other day about, you know, should I use a leader, should I not? And there's quite a few, you know, reasonably big name lure anglers in the UK now that aren't using a leader. I mean, for myself, same as yourself, I always will use a leader, whether it's only, you know, this long or the length of the rod for casting.
I think there's two reasons really for using a leader, be it fluorocarbon or mono. Obviously, even the fluorocarbon will stretch a little bit when you've got a very short line and the fish is very close to the boat. That can help save a fish or two that's very lightly hooked. I also think too that when you're fishing, like wreck fishing or reef fishing, if you get snagged, 9 times out of 10 it's going to go at the knot between the leader and the main braid, and that can save you an awful lot of braid.
I mean, the main reason I use a leader is because, as good as it is, braid, it's not as abrasion resistant as mono.
No, that is true. That is fact.
But you know, and if you're fishing over rough ground, snaggy ground, which let's face it, 9 times out of 10 when we're bass fishing we are, you've only got to get a little nick in that braid,
and it's enough.
It's enough for it to pop. So that's the main reason I use a leader. As well as, you know, I do believe that using fluorocarbon gives you that little bit of extra edge. Otherwise, you know, the millions of fly anglers around the world would just, you know, they wouldn't bother using fluorocarbon, would they? You know, it does make a difference. But as far as Spiderwire is concerned, it's very, very economical. It's very, very good stuff. It's been around for years and years and years. It's proved itself time and time again. Well worth checking out.